everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sorry, my hair is a mess, but as you can see today, we're in a different part of my house. This is my baby girl's nursery, and I thought I'd just change it up a little bit for a different video. Sorry for the glare on my glasses too. It is what it is. I'm by the window, which is the best lighting in this bedroom. But anyway, I decided to talk about a topic that seems to be taboo, at least around the people that surround me. And I don't know why. It happens more than we think it does. And I think that a lot of brave women get on this platform and they share their experience, and I think that's amazing. I do wish that, well, let me tell you what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about miscarriage. Now, I know that a lot of women go through miscarriage, and I know that we all mourn differently. So I'm going to kind of tell you my story about two miscarriages that I had, not back to back, but before my babies were born. So when I first got pregnant, don't remember, 5-6 years ago, first of all, I was going through a lot in my life. I was going through a lot. It was a rough time in my life, and I was depressed. I would cry all the time. I decided that I was gonna channel all that energy into work. So I was just gonna get into work and not think about anybody, not think about anything. My depression level was up here. And I remember just being so depressed, like extremely depressed. So one day, I think it was in December, I wasn't feeling well, and my boyfriend at the time, husband now, I told him that I wasn't feeling well, and he was like, well, what do you think it is? And I was like, I don't really know. I was like, I don't really know, but I could be pregnant. Now, the reason why I say it this way too, like, I don't know, is because in my life, I've had amazing people, and I've had people that are not so great. And for years, I had been hearing from very close people in my family that I couldn't have children. I couldn't have children. That's all I heard all the time. And that would make me so angry. One, because they're not doctors. They're not professionals. They don't know. But they always like to say those things to me when we were in gatherings. Oh, you can't have babies. Unfortunately, in my culture, if you're not married by a certain age, that's old school, of course, or if you don't have children by a certain age, there's something wrong with you. And you will never have kids, and you will never get married, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But I kept hearing these things, and they kept asking, do you ever want to have kids? Yes. And then, well, you can't, which is stupid. So that kept being embedded in my head at an early age, embedded in my head. I can't have kids. And I don't know why. I mean, again, they're not professionals. So every time I had an appointment with my OB, I would ask, hey, am I okay? Is everything okay? Will I ever be able to have babies? And my doctors would say, yeah, everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. All you need to do is try. Okay. I still wouldn't believe it because they kept going. Right? And at one point when they asked me, do you want to have kids? My answer would be no, I don't want to, because I don't want to hear it anymore. Even though I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. It's not the only thing I wanted to be, of course, but that's one of the things that I wanted to be more than anything. And to keep hearing these women telling me that I couldn't have children was stupid. And gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, I say all that because when I finally thought I was pregnant, my boyfriend and I decided we were going to take a test. Now, in the back of my mind was, it's not true because I can't have babies. So this is, no. But I decided, you know what, let's do it anyway. When I saw the test that I said pregnant, the joy that came over me was amazing. I can't even explain it, but it was joy and it was fear at the same time. And I couldn't believe it because I can't have babies. So anyway, I looked at the test and I couldn't believe it. So we took another one, same thing, another one, same thing. I could not believe my eyes. I could not believe that it said pregnant so many times. So then I told him, like, no, I don't think this is true because I can't have babies. Now, we made a doctor's appointment. And I remember going to the doctor and she's like, okay, what's going on? And I was like, well, I took several pregnancy tests and they're all positive. So I want you to test my blood because I don't believe it. She says, well, normally those are accurate. Like those are accurate. I'm like, nope, please, blood test. So she blood tested me, and I remember this was on December 23rd. So she gave me a blood test. She calls me, I don't remember when, and she leaves me a voicemail with confirming that I was pregnant. I was so overjoyed. Oh, I can't even explain how happy I was. I felt special. I felt so special because I have proven those people wrong, as dumb as that may sound. And the way my mom looked at me when she found out that I was pregnant, it was such a beautiful look that I felt special, you know. My boyfriend, husband now, was so sweet to me. I just felt special. I felt like, you know, I'm special. All those things that were going on in my life, all those things that were depressing me, all those things that were making me cry, that were making me just go into work and just work and work and work 15 hours a day, none of that mattered anymore because I was pregnant. Now, I remember at that point my boyfriend and I decided we're gonna move in together, you know, let's get ready for the baby, blah blah. So we decided that we were gonna get ready for this baby, and of course the doctor said, you know, come back in 13 weeks so we can check the heartbeat, kind of see how the baby's doing. Great. I still remember what I was wearing the day that I remember that day vividly, like if it was yesterday. I remember I was wearing this blue dress, and I remember we went early in the morning because I had to get back to work because I had something to do that was urgent for a client or whatever. I remember we went to the doctor and I was so fidgety in the waiting room. I was so happy. I didn't know what to do with myself. Again, they took me into the back by myself. They ask you all these questions, you know, you want to commit suicide, are you taking drugs, all these other questions, right? And I was like, no, let's just get to the heartbeat part because no. So anyway, the doctor says, okay, we're going to call your boyfriend now so that he can also hear the heartbeat. Sure, whatever. I want to hear it. So he gets in there and, you know, we're all chatting it up and I'm so excited. And she starts doing the test. And then she looks at the monitor and stone face. And then she goes, When she went, my heart shattered immediately because I knew that couldn't be good news. I was sad immediately. My heart was broken. I didn't know what to think. I didn't even wait for her to say anything. I had a feeling that it was bad. Then she says that she doesn't hear a heartbeat. I turn around and I look at this monitor and I see this little baby. It's only 13 weeks, right? This little baby, it's already formed, not completely, but it has little legs, little hands, little arms, and the head and stuff. And I fell in love with it. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I fell in love with this baby because he was mine. And, you know, she just kept saying there's no heartbeat. You know, it looks like he or she passed at 9 weeks. So he or she has been gone for 4 weeks. Of course, your body's still smart that your body is still thinking that it's pregnant and it's still doing what it's supposed to be doing. But I don't remember hearing anything else because I was so devastated. And immediately I thought to myself, it's my fault. I did this. This is my fault. It's me. It's my fault. And I remember her saying, you know what, let me bring someone else so they can check because we can make mistakes. We're human. Whatever. She brought an older doctor. I remember he was looking around and he was like, yeah, you see, there's like, I don't know what he was saying because I stopped listening. I was so angry, I stopped listening. He walks out And then she's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, there's no baby. I mean, there's no heartbeat. And she said, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes and I'll come back and we can talk about options. I remember the look on the face of my husband, and he felt for me. You could tell, like, he was just so sad, and he didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do. He was just like, are you okay? I mean, what do you want to do? And all I can think of is, I want my baby. That's what I want. Can't you do that? Because that's all I want right now. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about anyone else. I just want my baby. And I can feel my heart just racing in a million miles. And I still remember the pain, the guilt. And she comes in with the pamphlet and she says, okay, these are your options. You can allow your body to dispose of this baby on its own. God knows how long that's going to take until your body realizes that it's not pregnant anymore, and then it'll do its thing. Or we can give you a pill, dispose of the baby, which will be very painful. It will be like period cramps times 1,000. Or we can do a DNC. So for those of you who don't know what a DNC is, they go in there and they scrape the baby out of you. They take everything out, they scrape everything out. So my husband says, let's just do whatever is best for her, whatever is easiest, less painful. So we all decided that it was going to be a DNC. And she said, when do you want to do this? And I looked at her and I said, right now. I want it right now. I want to do it right now. And she's like, okay, we can't do it right now, but let me see when we can schedule you. So they scheduled me for the next day. I remember I was getting dressed, but everything seemed like it was in slow motion. Like I wasn't moving fast enough. I wanted to get out of there. I held my tears until I came out of the doctor. And I remember when I walked out of there, I was in such pain that I fell to the ground because my legs couldn't hold me anymore. And maybe this is probably dramatic, being dramatic to some of you, but that was me. That's how I felt. Those were the feelings that I had, because after going through so much, I had this gift and now it was taken away from me. I just felt terrible. I felt like a terrible person. I felt like it was my fault. It didn't matter what anybody was saying to me. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. It was my fault, and that's the way it was going to be. And I remember I called my mom and I said, hey, I just got out of the doctor and they told me that there's no heartbeat and I'm having surgery tomorrow. And she started crying. My mom started crying, and that made me cry even more. So she's like, I'll come to your house. And I said, no. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to be around anybody. I want to be by myself. I kicked my husband out of the house, which now that I think about it, I should have allowed my mom to come see me. I needed support and I didn't allow anybody to come. So if you're going through something like this, allow someone that loves you and cares for you more than anything to be there. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to do anything. They just have to be there with you. You need positivity right that second, because I know by experience that the first thing that goes through our mind is guilt, blame. We blame ourselves. It's our fault. I mean, whose fault could it be but ours, right? But it's not. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's no one's fault. That's just what happens. Miscarriages are more common than we think they are. It happens a lot more than we think it does, and we're not the only ones. Even though at that moment you feel like you're the only one, you're not alone. The pain is real, yes. Now, don't allow anybody to say to you, it's okay, don't cry, it's okay. No, you mourn your baby, because it's your baby, it's your pain, you went through it. You're allowed to have feelings, to feel however you want. The only thing you shouldn't do is blame yourself. I know you will, because I did it. I blame myself so much. I could have done so many things different in my eyes. I could have worked less. I could have traveled less. I could have done this. I could have done that. But the reality of things is, it doesn't matter what I would have done different. It would still happen. The doctor said something to me that stuck with me. And she said that, it's more common. She had miscarriages, and it's more common than we think. And that our bodies are so smart that it knows It knows when there's something wrong with the baby, and therefore it doesn't allow it to develop. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about science, but I do know that I read that too somewhere, that sometimes there's something wrong with the baby where it doesn't allow it to develop. Regardless, it's still painful, especially if you're in a situation like mine where you are going through so much and this is your glimpse of hope and then you lose it. It's painful. It hurts. But know that you will be okay. This too shall pass. For me, I've had two, and my first one was the most painful one because I was going through so much in life, and I get this glimpse of hope, like I win, I can have babies, to losing. And that depressed me even more, but nobody knew it because I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't know that women around me had miscarriages. I had no idea because nobody talks about it. It's taboo. Nobody wants to talk about a miscarriage. I remember I had this assistant that came to me, and she, before my second miscarriage, and we started talking about it, and she's like, oh, I wanted to ask you when it happened, but I just didn't feel like I should. I'm like, why not? Why not? We should be talking about these things to know what women are going through and how we can potentially deal with things so that we're not alone. We don't feel alone in these situations. Nobody wants to feel alone. Nobody wants to go through this pain by yourself. Yeah, you have your significant other, but men don't really understand the pain that goes that we go through when something like this happens. We as a woman, we bond with our baby the moment we know we're pregnant. We love it. I don't care if it's rice or I don't care. You bond with this child the moment you know they're in you. You love them. You already love them. Men do not bond with their children until they're born, and even then, it will take a little time for them to bond. We're not like that because they're inside of us. They grow inside of us. We feel them. We connect. So yeah, I mean, they're good support, but they can't feel what you feel. They don't understand. I know that my husband was very supportive. I remember him crying with me. We both, when we got back to the apartment, I cried all the way to the apartment, and when we got back, we kind of both held each other. We embraced each other in the living room, and we just cried it out. We cried and we cried and we cried and we cried, didn't say a word, and we bonded. We bonded so much after that, or when that moment. But I still remember the little baby on the monitor, and I remember asking my doctor if I can have the ultrasound, the baby, and she said, no, absolutely not. She said, I'm not going to give it to you because this is not going to help you move forward. You're going to keep looking at this baby and just go into a depression. I'm not going to do that. No. I'm grateful that she didn't, because I know, knowing me, I would have probably looked at that ultrasound all day long and cried all day long and blame myself even more. It is my fault. What could I have done different? What? At the end of the day, nothing I could have done differently would have still allowed my baby to move forward, unfortunately. But I understand the pain that you're going through. I totally get it. It is very painful. It hurts. It's devastating. But know that you are going to be okay. You're going to get out of this stronger, because it's a new emotion that you now have, that you understand, and you're just going to move forward. It's easier said than done right now. I know right now you just feel like nothing matters. You're in that black hole right now where you're just like finding a reason why, blaming yourself, finding, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Nothing, women, ladies, nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. Please stop blaming yourself. Mourn your baby. Absolutely. Feel the feeling, go through the emotion, but don't blame yourself. Do not do that. I know it's easier said than done. I know, I've been there. I was there. I don't blame myself anymore. This was 5-6 years ago. I do not blame myself anymore. I finally understand that it wasn't my fault. Nothing I could have done different. You know why? Because the second time when it happened to me, I did everything that I could have done. Everything. and I rested. I didn't have the same job anymore. I have a laid back, kick back job. Yes, I was stressed because my son, he was ill all the time, in and out of hospitals, and that was stressful for me. But the moment I knew I was pregnant, I needed to relax. Like, okay, I'm pregnant. Now, with the second one was a little bit different, and I'm going to be extremely honest with you. The second miscarriage did not hurt me as much as the first one. I don't know if it's because I had already gone through that pain, that my body and my brain were like, you've been here, you know how to maneuver through this. And also the difference was that for my first miscarriage, I saw the baby. I saw that baby on the monitor. For the second time, I remember the doctor was looking, and she's like, there's no baby. I was like, am I pregnant or not? And she says, no, you're definitely pregnant. There's a sac, but there's no baby. Baby didn't come to the party. She said, so I looked around and I looked at the monitor, and I could see the sac that she was talking about, but there was no baby. There's nothing in there. So the baby never developed. Yes, I was pregnant, but without a baby. Now, because I didn't see the baby, I think that that's the reason why it didn't hurt me as much as the first time. Now, it's not to say that it didn't hurt me, and it's not to say that I did not cry and that I felt like guilty, right? But the emotion was completely different. So I had a miscarriage, then I had my rainbow baby, and then I had a miscarriage again, and then I have my other baby. So when that miscarriage happened, I already knew what I needed to do, right? So DNC, get out. Yes, when it hit me, when I was home and it hit me, I cried. I cried because my husband and I were trying to have a baby, and we finally got pregnant, and it didn't happen. And yes, I blamed myself, and my husband and I talked through it, but I was fine. I was fine because I remember him saying, yes, we lost this baby. However, focus on the positive. Focus on what you do currently have, which is this beautiful baby boy, healthy baby boy, somewhat. Focus on him. We have him. We will try again. We're okay. Everything's going to be okay. And ladies, you need someone that's positive, that's going to hold you through this, because you don't need anybody negative saying, well, there's no baby, so why are you crying? Because it's your baby, and because you have feelings and you have emotions, and you bonded with this baby that is not there. But, I want to hear more ladies talk about their miscarriages. Why not? It's something that happens more than we know. My mom had a miscarriage that I didn't know about because she doesn't talk about it. Who else? My former boss had a miscarriage that she never talked to me about it because they never talk about it. I don't know. I mean, my friend, when I told him about my miscarriage, he told me that his girl had a miscarriage, but they never talk about it. So why didn't know? I think that we as women need to talk about these things to know that we're okay, that it's going to be okay, and it's a way of bonding with other females. It is painful. I'm not gonna downplay that. It is painful. You do blame yourself, but try to step away from that. Yes, mourn, absolutely, because it's painful. It changes you forever. It changes you forever. I still get emotional when I think about it. It changes you forever. But I am so grateful, so grateful that I have my 2 rainbow babies. And for those of you who don't know what a rainbow baby is once the storm settles, you have your miscarriage, you have a baby, the rainbow comes, you have a baby. That's your rainbow baby. I have 2, not 1, but 2. And that's what I try to focus my attention on, my 2 beautiful babies. Of course, having babies, life is not perfect. But I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. I'm grateful that God gave me the ability to have my children, and I'm grateful that these women stop telling me things about not being able to have babies. It's just dumb, and women tend to put women down all the time, and I don't know why. We need to stick together and just move forward together, I have a daughter, and I know that when she grows older, I will definitely talk to her about these things, because God forbid, but she may go through it, and I will understand because I went through it. If you take anything from this video, long video, is that you will be okay. This too shall pass. And it is not your fault. It is not your fault. Don't blame yourself. Surround yourself by happy people, positive people, people that genuinely love you, that want to be there with you and for you. Do not go through this by yourself. Do not. So with that said, I know I rambled a lot. I didn't have any notes. I had everything up here because I was just talking by memory. But if you guys have any comments, or if I said anything offensive in this video, I truly apologize. These are just my thoughts, things I went through, the way I think. But leave a comment below what you think about this video. I want to make more experience videos because I want to connect with other moms. I want to connect with other potential moms that they're going to want to have babies and they want to know what happens or how it feels or what have you. But please like and subscribe if you want to. And again, if you have any comments, anything you want to say, you can leave it in the description below. And thanks for watching. And remember, it is not your fault. This too shall pass. It's okay. It's okay. You'll be okay. I promise you, you will be okay. Take care of yourself, keep safe, and we'll see you in the next video.